Even though you've chosen a profitable service, if you choose the wrong niche, you will still struggle to make money. That's why you must be selective about the niches that you work with. And once again, that's why I've created a cheat sheet that's going to remove any guesswork from your decision-making process on what niches you should and shouldn't select. Now, the first parameter is very simple, and that's revenue. Because if you pick a niche where clients usually have high revenue numbers, you'll make more money because they have the resources to pay you well. And if you pick a niche where clients can usually barely scrape by, you will struggle financially as well because they lack the resources to pay you. And from personal experience, the clients that pay the least are usually the ones that are the most headache to work with. So you might as well just go for the high paying ones. So let's put a number to it. I would not suggest working with any businesses that make less than $50,000 a month, because when a business surpasses that threshold, that's usually where they have the resources to reinvest, and they also find value in doing so. So here's a few types of businesses you want to avoid. First is startups, because they usually don't make any money and they try to bootstrap and cut costs as much as they can. It usually takes years for them to become profitable, and that's not an environment that you want to be in. And second is one-person businesses. They usually view themselves more as a self-employed individual than a business per se. And this also usually translates into their revenue numbers, which are usually way below the $50,000 mark I mentioned. Now, the second parameter that you need to look at is profit margin. Some businesses do make a lot of money when talking about revenue, but when you look at their profit margins, well, then it tells a very different story. Ideally, you want to work with businesses that have 40% plus profit margins. Anything less than that, and you're going to run into the same problem as businesses with low revenue. And a few examples of classic low profit margin businesses are clothing stores, restaurants, apps, or retail stores. These are businesses that usually don't have a lot of spare cash laying around, and it usually takes them months to break even on the cost of acquiring a customer. So imagine if you bring a customer through your service, but that customer will only be profitable in month 4, 5, or 6. Well, that's a bit of a sticky situation to be in. You want to work with businesses that when you bring them a customer through your service, they profit straight away. That's why the third parameter to pay attention to here is their product ticket. And what I mean by that is their average price that a customer pays them per transaction. Ideally, you want to be working with businesses that have a product ticket higher than $1,000. And that's because with only a handful of sales, they are already profitable on your service. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's say you help law firms to get more clients, and you do that through whatever service you deliver in order to achieve that. And let's say you're charging them $2,000 a month, and their average client is worth $1,000 to them. If you bring them 5 clients a month, they're already making at the very least a 2x return on their investment, already discounting their margins. And trust me, getting them 5 new clients a month is a super easy job to execute. So that is a very easy win client. Now, on the other hand, imagine that you were working with a chewing gum company and their product ticket is $5. So for them to get the same return on investment, you'd probably have to bring them anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 customers per month, considering their low margins. And that, my friend, is an extremely hard job to do. And that client will hardly ever work out for you. So a few classic examples of good niches here would be law firms, pool installation, home renovation, pest control, solar energy. And now I also want to encourage you to add an extra parameter to your niche and think a little outside the box. You see, the best clients I ever worked with at my agency were always very non-obvious and kind of quirky niches. For example, companies with weird products or services like amateur radios, power washes, container houses, custom jewelry, or companies with a lot of funding. And there are a few companies out there that truly don't care about results, but rather they just have to spend their marketing budget to please their investors. Or companies with lots of assets that make your job easier. Here's what I mean. Companies with big email lists, big audience on social media, a lot of organic traffic. All of these can be used to your advantage and make your job so much easier. All of these are easy win clients and clients that pay very, very well. And now I'm going to show you where to find these clients and how to get them to pay you $1,000 to $10,000 a month for your service. So next step is how to get clients. You see,